I'm actually completely shocked by this. I never knew how many guys really struggled with making money. The number one most asked question from men ages 18 to 30 all revolve around money. I thought it would have been something along the line of getting women or how to manage relationships better, but it's really about money. And I guess that's because people don't always go to college right out of high school. I know a lot of people that don't think education's for them. They don't really agree with the education system. So they're going to now go to a university and work a hourly wage for around 16 to 20 hours, usually in labor, and they don't really have the ability to make a significant amount of income. I know it's good that they are working and that they are contributing to society in some way, but in terms of achieving actual wealth, it's going to be borderline impossible to do that if you're working 8-hour days at a construction site. And it's not like these guys are working hard afterwards. They're putting in their 8 hours, then going home, going into their room, smoking weed and playing video games till 3 a.m. I understand that college isn't for everybody, but you need to learn a skill instead of just working right away or solely working. Like, you can work and learn a skill on the side and then eventually master that skill enough to where you can monetize it. But if you're going just 40-hour weeks of you working your low paying job and then just coming home, smoking weed, playing 2K, you're not getting any better. There's no progression in the cycle. You see with like climbing the corporate ladder that there's levels to income, right? But these guys, they just have the intention of staying where they are. They don't want to get a promotion. They don't want to rise above whatever amount of hours that they're working now. It's simply, I want to be lazy, I want to work 40 hours a week, and I want to live whatever I can get off of that lifestyle. So if you want to buy your food from the dollar store and not drink high quality beverages, then by all means, that's okay. But for those guys that really want to actually increase their financial status, that's not the approach you should take. What you should do is, assuming you don't want to go to college, you don't want to put in 4 years of college anywhere, no matter what major, you just don't want to do it or you can't afford it. Okay, so this is what you should do. Two options. Go into a retail store, and you're going to start off as a cashier or sales associate. Do that for a few years and then work your way up in the company. There will be positions above that you can apply for, and before you know it, you can actually reach a pretty high paying position. What you should do before choosing the company that specifically you want to work for, you need to figure out how quickly they promote people. What is their promotion levels like? What are their scalability aspects? How can you go from entry level to a managerial role as fast as possible? Companies oftentimes, especially ones that don't have that, especially the ones that have a high turnover rate, they will promote you quicker simply because they need someone to have that position. So, for example, fast fashion, right? There's plenty of fast fashion stores, and a lot of them don't require experience to start. And if you're showing dedication to the company, they will reward you with a higher role. And especially if you show that you're a good worker and you are capable of handling the responsibilities of that position. I had a buddy that worked at a fast fashion store in the mall, and he started off as a sales associate, and in 3 years he was able to land a manager role in the company. That's pretty crazy. Didn't have to spend any money in college, simply just worked his butt off, came to work on time, made everybody feel welcomed in the environment that he was in. He was able to make $70K a year at the age of, I believe, low 20, probably 21 or 22. And he wasn't in any debt, and he was just making money. But you guys get what I'm saying. It's a very easy way to make 70K a year, 70, 80K a year. It's really not rocket science. The position isn't that difficult. Yeah, you might have to deal with annoying customers, but for the amount of money you're getting paid, it's not that difficult. Doesn't require a degree, and if you don't want to go to college, I think that's one of your best options. Or you could go into a hardware store or a sporting goods store. I had a buddy that just got promoted. Shout out to him. He was working for 2 years. He only worked there for 2 years, entry level, and now he's assistant manager and he's making about 80K. So that shows you can still make money without a college degree. So those people that say, oh, they're broke because they can't afford college, go this route. It will definitely help you out. I don't think you should complain though if your position is as fun, simply because like you really don't have that many choices if you don't want to do any sort of schooling or you don't want to learn any sort of skill. So beggars can't really be choosers, but I think retail is fun, to be honest. I feel like social environment, especially if you're a social person, you'll definitely enjoy. And you know, bro, 80K is 80K. And now for the guys that are going to college, I would assume that you picked a good degree. Please don't be one of those idiots that go to college for a degree that's not even in demand. That's pretty much one of the stupidest things you could have done. By doing this, you're putting yourself in a disadvantage because all you're going to do is throw so much money in for college. You might have to take out loans just for the return not to be there. The reason you go to college is to leave with a high-paying job. That should be the intention. For people that don't get degrees that are in demand, they end up just working jobs that they could have gotten without college. You could have just skipped college completely and took the route I just described, and you would have been on a way better position financially, at least, than where you are right now. But let's say you've picked a good major, you're doing computer science, and you graduate and you got 100K starting salary. Congrats to you, bro. Be proud. But the first thing all these guys are doing, first thing all guys do, they go ahead, they buy that BMW. They buy the newest model, new exhaust, new car engine. Bro, they just get it all zooped up, and that's with extra money, right? And before they know it, that 100K that they started off with is looking more like 40K. And then they move out to an expensive place in town, and they're paying $3-4 grand a month in rent. Now it's like they only have like 20,000 left, if that. Before they know it, food, bills, they barely are breaking even. They're slightly positive in their net income minus their living expenses. So do not put yourself in this situation. That's one of the stupidest things you could do. And the thing is, the people that do put themselves in this situation, their mindset is always, okay, how can I afford this actually? How can I actually afford this situation now? Can I work harder? Can I work more hours? They're like, okay, I'll do that. So they work hard, they put in more hours, and they actually get a promotion because their boss sees them working really hard and wants to reward them. So that's great to hear, right? Now they're making 135K. But guess what? They don't really want that car anymore. They want the newer model. So they trade the car in and put an extra couple thousand down and a little extra monthly payment. So there's that. Then they kind of want a bigger apartment. So they move to another spot that's bigger, but rent increases by 1.5 thousand a month. You see the issue with this? Whenever people make more money, they feel the need to spend more money. And it just cancels out everything because you're not having any money left. After you spend it all, there was no real point for you to get that raise just for you to save less money. Your goal with making more money should be also to save more money. Just because you make more does not mean you should spend more. You need to spend way below your living needs and the necessities that you actually, and your necessities in order to be wealthy, in order to actually have money and have the opportunity to use it wisely. If not, you're going to be poor forever. You could still make 150K a year and be poor by putting yourself in stupid financial situations, buying things you know you cannot afford, and increasing your spending habits. What you need to do is think about it more logically before you buy something, and it needs to be something you can afford 5 times before you actually make the purchase. I know a lot of people say 3, but most people are poor anyway, right? Let's not take advice from them. And you also have to understand that materialistic items do not bring you as much happiness as you really think, and the joy that you get from it does not last. The moment you get that car, yes, it'll be nice, but then a week later, it's just another car to you, bro. It's literally something you drive in from point A to point B, you get out, and then you do whatever the heck you're doing. I'm not telling you should never buy a car, but you have to understand what you're buying and what to expect out of it. That way you don't feel any sort of regret down the line. Because the thing about cars is it's such a depreciating asset. The moment you drive it off the lot, it's lost so much value. The longer you keep it, the more miles you put on it. As soon as you try to sell it, you will not get nearly as much as you paid for it. So if you're really serious about it, do your research, think about it for some time, and then make the decision when you're ready. Don't ever feel rushed to make a huge financial commitment to anything, especially on a depreciating asset of all things. Overall goal though should be to make more money. I don't care where you stand financially, it should always be to make more money than you did the year before. I know a lot of people are set on making 100K a year, but I believe we're more than capable of making 100K. I feel like making 100K for us is too easy now, especially if you have a college degree in a STEM related field. I think 100K is too little for us. I think we should go for at least 200K, and then we have more leeway with buying stupid stuff. We have more leeway to invest our money. We have more leeway in purchasing things for other people, giving back to the less fortunate. The amount of benefits we will have and the amount of benefits we can give towards other people once we have that extra income will just allow us to live a happier and more fulfilled life. I know it's going to be difficult. I know you're going to have to put in more hours, but as men, that's our job. We like to work. We love to grind. We love to reap the rewards of our sacrifice. So it's really nothing new to us, and we just have to take pride in the grind, and we just have to look forward to it and continue to think about everybody else besides just us. We have to understand that everything we do now will affect our future generation. All the times we're lazy, we don't feel like rolling out of bed and we call out of work, that's money that our future kids won't have. So implement that mindset and just go make some more money, bro.